Hello friends and fellow warriors, if you are a costume enthusiast or a cosplayer or a leather craftsman, then I have the perfect trick to share with you today that's going to bring your leather belts and your leather armor to a whole new level. I'm sure you've all experienced that moment of receiving the new leather armor or belt you ordered online. But then you put it on and you're like, this isn't what I ordered, and it's like stiff and squeaky, and it just doesn't look fitting. So, in order to make your leather stuff more fitting and flexible, the solution is Neatsfoot Oil. Neatsfoot Oil softens and conditions leather. It replenishes natural oil due to wear, exposure, or age, and prevents cracking and brittleness. Okay, so the first thing I do is find a spot somewhere away from things that you don't want to get oily, like outdoors or on a table like this where it's on like an old piece of wood or on this wrap. You can see I also put wrap on the table just for extra protection. And you don't have to, but if you don't like the feeling of slimy oil on your hands, then I would wear gloves. So I have my gloves here. Handy little pouch that hides the plastic. And I only have one glove. I don't know where my other glove went. Well, that's great. And that's okay. We will just try to do most of the oiling with this hand. Also, sometimes you can do it with like a sponge or a rag. I don't have that with me either, but that's okay because we have a glove. You know, oil never hurt anyone. It just maybe stains some things. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your Neatsfoot and you can either get like a little dish to kind of pour some in and have a little bit in a dish, or if you're careful enough, you just pour it into your hand. And all you're gonna do is just slather it onto your belt. So I'm going to get a little handful here, remove the cap. And I'm just going to grab my belt and put it on there like so. Very slimy, very oily. And do both sides really, really well. You don't want to submerge it, but you do want to do a pretty hefty amount of oiling on here to make sure covers everything. I'm gonna do a little bit more to get the other end. Just put it on here. So once you've oiled your leather, you're just gonna set it to the side for about 12 to 24 hours so that oil can just soak up into it. And what that's gonna do is soften the leather so that it's more flexible. And this tip is especially good for like larger pieces of leather. So like armor or thick belts. So for example, a really broad belt like this, these especially just come very boxy and square-like, you know, if you tried to put that around your waist, oh, that's upside down. But if you try to put it around your waist and you see it's just, the edges, it's too sharp and comfortable, and also it kind of squeaks. So by putting oil on this belt, this would make it a lot more form-fitting, as well as something like shoulders that will go on your shoulder and be connected to a whole nother like leather chest piece. And instead of it just kind of being sitting there and being stiff, it actually can like form fit to your shoulder and be a lot more comfortable. The only downside about Neatsfoot Oil is that it will always darken your leather. So if you have a whole like leather set with like arm, leg pieces, chest, or whatever you're doing, and if you oil some and then don't oil other parts, then you're gonna have different shades of colors, which me personally, I've never minded that. And I pretty much oil almost all of my leather, so it kind of just works out in the end anyway. But that's just one thing to keep in mind, is that it will always darken your leather. And there you have it. That's how you make your leather more comfortable and flexible for all your cosplay, LARPing, and creative endeavors for whatever use you want to use it for. You'll find the Amazon link for Neatsfoot Oil in the description below. And I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, then give us a thumbs up. And also subscribe to Steel Warrior Films if you want to see more content like this, as well as epic sword fighting videos.
That is not it. Oh. I'm sorry. Your sound effects are so funny.